Hey guys, this is Dennis Larkin for TFN Now, reporting to you live from the 13th Street Rep Theater. We're covering a show called The Accidental Pervert. It's a show about male masturbation, a subject that's very near and dear to my heart. Let's go meet the cast, shall we?
Concentrate.
Excuse me, Andrew. Andrew, hi. Hi, I'm Dennis from TFN Now. Remember we're having an interview?
Those balls are wet.
I'm sorry about that. Can we ask you a few questions?
Yes, you can.
Has your mother ever seen the show?
Yes, she has.
And what does she think of it?
She loves it.
Really?
Yes.
Did she ever catch you masturbating? I think you talk about that in the show.
Well, no, but she warned me not to.
Why?
Just growing up, she didn't think it was a good idea.
Why? What was going to happen?
Well, you
Hairy palms.
hairy palms.
Dennis asked him, what would she say?
Yeah, what would she say? What
Told
would
me
you
not to touch myself down there.
Or what would
Or
happen?
my hand might stick to it. One time, when I was 6 years old, I overheard my parents doing it. And I almost called the cops. Because I thought my dad was hurting my mom. The only time I heard moaning like that was when Grandma fell down the stairs. I'm thinking, oh great. Now Mom's gonna need a new hip too.
I think people gravitate toward Andrew and his personality. He's so likable, and and we're going for it with the show. It's a real thing. It's tangible. We're putting it up. We're not talking about doing a show. We're doing a show.
This show is so difficult to do with the lighting and the sound. There are about 824 cues.
Wow.
825.
825.
Oh my God, how do you do
It got so complicated that Charles just said, you know what? Not only am I going to direct this, but I'm going to have to do this also.
It's actually become very difficult. We have a couple of people who can now take over the show. The one person we had who could run the show, he had to move on to greener pastures, and so we actually there's only one person in the world who can run this show, and you're looking at him.
I found my dad's videotapes. We're not speaking of greatest hits of Masterpiece Theater here. Or some PBS series on the building of the Brooklyn Bridge. No, we're talking pornos. Pornos.
The night we came to see the show, there was like this whole entire row where you guys are sitting was all Asian people. And they said they got an email that said the show was less than $20 and that's why they chose this show. How have you been marketing the show? Because, I mean, you got like 6 people in just with that one.
Chinatown, mostly.
No, seriously. Where did you get her email address? I mean, how are you doing that?
Oh no, we
And,
have a ton of coupons,
Oh, we
and
love the
listen, when you're
Asian
doing
people.
audience development is like 90%, 99%
Totally.
of what we do when we're not in the theater. It's all
Oh,
about
really?
Yeah, I mean,
so you do this like
You love
7
the
days a
Jewish
week,
people?
or?
we
You love the black people?
I'm not trying to say something here.
When you're trying to have a kid, instead of just going for the thrills of sex, is you start thinking about all this practical stuff. Like, I'd be right in the middle of making love to my wife. And all of a sudden, I start thinking how one day we're gonna have to pay for college tuition. We need a car seat. We need a safer car. Honey, I can't afford a new car. I already have bad credit.
So in the show, you actually talk a little bit about a technique of masturbation using a shirt. I don't want you to reveal too much, but can you talk a little about that technique?
It's against union regulations.
To discuss the technique?
Right.
Okay, so you guys will
If
have...
we were on the stage, then we'd be allowed to.
Got it. Okay, so then, you know what? You guys will have to come see the show to hear more about the technique. Tell us this,
It'll
Logan.
make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It'll make you hard.